Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. In Hong Kong, it's 6:30 p.m. on the Wednesday, and this time to kick off the DACA conference. Now, my name is PerMagnus Lindborg. I'm the chair, and I have the honor of having two people, two highly esteemed, very important people to make their welcome addresses, and they are Miss Sandy Song Man Kuen, and she is the Assistant Director of the Hong Kong Observatory and President of the Commission for Aeronautical Meteorology of the World Meteorological Organization. We also have my boss, the Acting Dean of the School of Creative Media, Professor Richard Allen, Chair Professor Richard Allen. So without any further ado, I will leave first to Richard Allen to say a few words, and then to Sandy Song to say a few words. And after that, I will make my little address shorter after that. So here's Richard Allen.
Hi everyone. I'm actually in the HQ here in the main space where the live event was going to take place, but I'm privileged to have access to this facility. We're delighted here at the School of Creative Media to host this pioneering conference, and I want to welcome you all to Hong Kong, at least virtually. It goes without saying that there's nothing today that's more important than and more urgent than to create awareness about climate change, about man-made climate change, and the catastrophic impact that it is having on the global ecosystem. And unfortunately, as we've seen from the reaction to COVID-19, there's a remarkable level of skepticism amongst the general population towards scientific knowledge, scientific inquiry, and to the understanding that is yielded by data of what is actually happening. And I think that this makes it, at this moment, critically important for us to be able to find ways to communicate knowledge about climate change in novel and innovative ways in order to enhance general understanding of its catastrophic implications, and in doing so, then lead us to find ways to mitigate its effects. And in this effort, art and digital media art in particular has the ability to play a tremendously important and constructive role through developing new ways of communicating data that are graspable and meaningful to those who are not at home with big data analysis, and also through forms of older fashioned forms of storytelling, which can be creatively reworked in the digital media domain. So this is a dual hub conference that's taking place at Hong Kong over 4 days, and then at Graz over 1 day. And we're going to be witnessing workshops, 2 keynote speeches by Andrea Polli and Moritz Stefana, paper sessions, an art exhibition here at the School of Creative Media, and an allograph, which I'm sure most of you know what an allograph is, but for those of you who don't, it's a live coded performance. And this will be using data from the Hong Kong Observatory. Now, having organized a few big conferences myself, I'm painfully aware of how complicated it is to pull off something, a hybrid conference of this nature and magnitude, especially with all the uncertainties that the pandemic brings in and the organizational challenges it poses to what is already a complicated process. So I would like to take this opportunity to give a big thank you to my colleague, PerMagnus Lindborg, for his visionary leadership in conceiving of this event, but also his redoubtable organizational skills to pull the whole thing off. And I also want to give a shout out to Rio Ikashiro and Lena Simon, curators of the DACA exhibition, which I'm really looking forward to seeing, as well as to our colleagues in Graz, Austria, for their collaboration. I want to also give thanks to our partners, our key partners, especially the Hong Kong Observatory. The Hong Kong Observatory have become such a vital ally for us at School of Creative Media in helping us to develop our curriculum, which combines art and science, and which I like to think this conference is also a contribution to. And I also want to give a grateful thanks to our main conference sponsor, the Environment and Conservation Fund of Hong Kong. So it remains for me to congratulate and thank all the participants at this conference and to wish you all the best for a wonderful event in the hope that it will engender lasting and meaningful creative and research collaborations and partnerships long into the future. So thank you all and welcome once again to this virtual conference in Hong Kong.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you very much, Richard. And I will pass the microphone on to, as it were, to Ms. Sandy Song Kuen with the Hong Kong Observatory.
Hello, Professor Richard, Professor PerMagnus, Dr. Catherine Walt, distinguished speakers and guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and good afternoon to you all. I'm delighted to be here to join you today in the opening ceremony of the Data Art for Climate Action 2022. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer, CTU, inviting the Hong Kong Observatory to be one of the partners of this conference. Over the years, the Observatory has been cultivating cross-disciplinary partnerships with various stakeholders to enhance the weather and climate services through the utilization of climate information, especially on disaster risk reduction and public communication aspects. In this connection, I recall the successful collaboration between the Observatory and the School of Creative Media of the City University of Hong Kong in organizing the exhibition on Blown Away, Art, Science and Extreme Weather in 2019. I'm very glad that we can further this initiative today, once again bringing scientists and artists together for effective climate science communication. Being a meteorologist, it is natural for me to talk about the weather and climate. As you may be aware, last year, 2021, continues to be a much warmer than usual year from the local perspective. In addition, 2021 was the warmest year in Hong Kong since records began in 1884. The yearly total of 54 very hot days and 63 hot nights were also the highest on record. On this note, from a global perspective, the United Nations, IPCC, released the sixth assessment report, AR6, in August 2021. The report clearly stated that human influence has warmed the atmosphere, the ocean, and land, and human-induced climate change is already affecting many weather and climate extremes in every region across the globe. Looking into the future, global warming will lead to an even more warmer climate, increase in extreme weather, rising sea level, and more intense tropical cyclones. All these pose great challenges to the disaster risk reduction, climate resilience, and sustainable development to our society. The impacts of climate change and extreme weather see no boundary. It is high time for us to make concerted actions to ensure our society will be resilient to the climate change and extreme weather, not only now, but for the generations to come. Therefore, the conference provides an excellent platform for artists, scientists, students, journalists, and other interested parties to build capacity and promote the innovative use of climate data for communicating climate change to various sectors of our society and raise the public awareness on climate change. Last but not least, I wish this conference every success and all of you a most rewarding and fruitful discussion and sharing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandy, for those words. And we are all very happy about the collaboration that DACA and the School of Creative Media have with the Hong Kong Observatory, for sure. So thank you for that. I will now take this opportunity to say a few words myself. And here are my notes. So. So, yes, so welcome to DACA. DACA is a meeting place. As an international academic conference, it is an arena for a multilogue between colleagues and environments. A conference is a stock exchange trading in knowledge and ideas. It is a space for serendipitous encounters between individuals. We come to a conference to hear ideas that might change the way we think. Hong Kong and Graz have joined to create DACA, Data Art for Climate Action. It is a dual hub conference. 1.5 years ago, my co-chair, Dr. Katharina Groß-Vogt at IEM, the Kunstuniversität Graz in Austria, and I started to make plans for a conference on this theme. Due to COVID-19 and regulations, the schedule and logistics have had to adapt. Nevertheless, here we are at the opening of DACA 2022. In Hong Kong, the conference takes place between the 23rd, today, and the 26th of February, and in Graz, it continues on the 5th of March. Hong Kong is a place of striking natural beauty, hills and mountains, sea and harbor, forests and streetscapes. It is more known abroad for being the city on the planet most dense with skyscrapers, buildings over 200 meters tall. It is very densely populated, especially Kowloon town and the built-up strip on the island. Yet there is nature treasured by all residents. City University ranks internationally as one of the most international in the world. Among the 9 publicly funded universities in Hong Kong, CTU is the one most cited per faculty in scientific and scholarly publications. the School of Creative Media sits at the foothills of Lions Rock, overlooking Kowloon. As a conference on data art, we are based at the School of Creative Media, which is all about design and the digital arts, especially sound and sonification, augmented reality, audiovisual communication, and data visualization. But what are the concerns and responsibilities of artist designers working in the context of an unfolding climate crisis? As educators, what examples do we offer our students? As a conference on climate action, we collaborate with colleagues in the School of Energy and Environment, the Network of Environmental Student Societies, and the Cultural and Sports Committee of City University. We reach outside of campus to the Hong Kong Observatory, which is involved in several ways at DACA, and the Environment and Conservation Fund, our main sponsor. We reach out internationally, partnering with Frontiers Journal and with Thyssen-Bornemischer Arts Contemporary, TBA 21. And thanks to IEM, with the Wegener Center for Climate and Global Change in Graz. As a conference on data art for climate action, DACA is a meeting place for people who believe that art and design have a role to play in how society handles the climate crisis. You, my dear DACA participants, you are students, professionals, researchers, scientists, laymen, designers, musicians, rhetoricians, visual artists, and much more. I thank you for making DACA possible, and I wish you warmly welcome. And the conference is herewith open. And now we shall round this opening off and move from where we are at the, as Richard Allen just said, at the something of the headquarters. It's the Multimedia Theatre of the Run Shaw Creative Media Building, and we're going to go to level 3, as it were, at least virtually. We will do so, to the Singing Waves Gallery, and meet the curators of the Date Act exhibition, which is Rio Ikeshiro and Lina Simon. So please join us in the next Zoom session, and you know where to find the links in the program tab on our website. Thank you for now. Again, welcome, and I'll see you in the next session.